but I love following directions. Hello, welcome back to my channel. We're doing a really exciting Cat Tries to Bake video because for the first time ever, I am going to be trying a recipe that was featured on the Great British Baking Show. I don't know why I thought I could just pick any recipe because I went on the website and I was like, oh, all these are really hard and there are like 200 steps and a bunch of European ingredients that I don't have. But luckily, I found one from one of my favorite contestants this season, Jürgen. I definitely think my top 3 have been Jürgen, Giuseppe, and Freya. Spoiler alert, goodbye Freya. Anyway, today we are making Jürgen's Yuzu Chouxnuts. Chou like C-H-O-U-X and not like S-H-O-E. Without further ado, let's get started. Our first step is going to be to preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit before we make our streusel. What is streusel? Can't tell you. I'm about to make it though. To make our streusel, we are going to need to break out our food processor and we are going to just put in 50 grams of all-purpose flour, 25 grams of sugar. I just have regular granulated sugar. The recipe says caster sugar, but I know they're interchangeable, so it's fine. 25 grams of unsalted butter, and it does need to be cubed, so I will be doing that. And then half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Flour going in, sugar going in. I'm just gonna put my nutmeg in first because I have to cut up my butter. Half teaspoon. Okay, great. And I'm just gonna take the cubes and just put them around the bowl. Now that everything's inside, we are gonna pulse until the mixture resembles breadcrumbs. I just finished, so I'm going to tip the mixture onto this small baking sheet, and once the oven finishes preheating, I'm going to put it in for 5 to 8 minutes. So I guess this is streusel. I don't know what the word streusel actually means. I'm going to make it so that a definition comes up on the bottom right here, and now you'll know what streusel means. Since the oven's not done yet, I'm going to put this to the side and start the next thing. I just put the streusel into the oven. I set a timer for 6 minutes and I'm gonna check in on it in 6 minutes. Right now, I'm gonna make the choux pastry. So we have 200 grams of sifted flour, 160 milliliters of whole milk, 160 grams of unsalted butter cubed. Then we are also gonna put 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'm just gonna put a tablespoon because I know I like my choux pastry a little sweeter. And then a half teaspoon of salt. We'll also need 3 to 4 eggs, lightly beaten. I'm gonna bring that in later. If you hear a dog, it's Pancake in the driveway. So right now, I'm gonna pour my milk in first, and I'm gonna add the butter, the sugar, and the salt. Sugar, salt. I'm just gonna stir it around until all the butter melts. The butter is all melted now, and I'm just waiting for it to come to a boil. It's boiling. So we're gonna take our saucepan off of heat. Now I'm gonna add all the flour to this mixture and beat it until it's smooth. The mixture is all combined, so I'm gonna return this to medium heat and keep beating it until it's glossy. My mixture is pretty glossy now, so I've just taken it off of heat and I'm actually gonna move all this aside and break out my stand mixer. I'm gonna drop all of this dough into the stand mixer and just let it sit and cool for 5 to 10 minutes. I have my stand mixer here fitted with my beater attachment and I've already put the dough in. I've let it cool for about 7 minutes. I'm just gonna put my eggs in one at a time and beat it very slowly. I also wanted to say that I thought I set the timer for my streusel and I didn't. So it was in the oven for 13 minutes and it's a little browner than it should be, but I think it will just be extra crispy, which is generally how I like crispy things. And this is Cat Tries to Bake, so what are you gonna do? I've added all my eggs and I'm just gonna keep beating until the mixture is silky smooth and reluctantly drops off the spoon, the recipe says. I have a spoon. I'd say he's pretty reluctant. Now that this is done beating, I'm gonna move all of this mixture to a large piping bag fitted with a star tip. I just put all of my batter in. I need to specify that the recipe says open star nozzle. I put a closed one first and then I was like, no, I need to read directions. This bag is also probably a little too full, but for the time being, I'm gonna set this aside and I'm gonna get our deep frying situation ready. So I have my biggest saucepan, my single burner is back out, and a bunch of vegetable oil. I have a bunch because the recipe doesn't say how much to use. I think I'm just supposed to fill up about halfway, and then I want to heat it until it's 180 degrees Celsius, which in Fahrenheit is 356 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure you have a thermometer? Yes, a thermometer. I was like, make sure you have a heat checker. You know, one time instead of airport, I said plane station. It's my brain. I'm gonna pour a bunch of vegetable oil in. While it's heating up, I'm going to pipe my shoe rings. I'm so nervous about this. I think that's okay. I'll just wait for this to heat up. Here I have, I believe, 13 little squares. These are 12 centimeter squares, so 12 across, 12 down, and on each of them I've drawn a circle that is 8 centimeters in diameter. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to flip it over so that it's ink side down, because who likes eating ink? And I'm just gonna pipe a ring of shoe onto each one. Here it goes. I'm so nervous about this. She's beautiful. On to the next one. Inside down. I have finished piping. The recipe said to cut out 12 squares. I cut 13 just in case, and I ended up only making 10 rings, like Shang-Chi, which is fine. I am waiting for the oil to heat up. It's taking a long time because the single burner is not great. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna set this aside and I'm gonna make the yuzu glaze. My oil is almost up to temperature, but I'm still gonna make this glaze first. My dogs are playing, so you might hear them. I have 200 grams of icing sugar, or in the States it's powdered sugar or confectioner sugar, and I am going to gradually pour in 35 to 40 milliliters of yuzu juice while I mix. My icing is smooth and thick, and so now I'm gonna beat in 20 grams of softened unsalted butter. It is just under 2 tablespoons. Going in. It's a little melted. It's okay. And I'm just gonna beat that until it's fully combined. My oil is finally hot enough. I finished making my yuzu glaze, it's off to the side, and now we are going to flip our parchment paper squares over and cook them 2 at a time for 2 minutes on each side until it's golden brown. Then I will take a slotted spoon and scoop it up, put it on the wire rack. I'm saying all this right now because I'm just gonna do it. Okay, I'm nervous. So it's not working. I am plotting my next move. Please! Part of me was thinking that I should have just piped this in, but I love following directions! I feel like it's gonna start popping. I'm going to do this for now. I'm gonna very gently try and slide this off with an offset spatula. I'm just gonna do one first to see how it turns out. I've already ruined it. It's ugly now. After I cook this mess of a shoe nut, I am going to put all of the dough that I piped back into my piping bag and just pipe directly into the oil. Because screw uniformity, Paul Hollywood is not here. And this is just what's gonna happen for now. This is so sad. So I just let these remnants of my first shoe nut cook anyway, and they are turning a really nice golden brown. So I do think it'll work, just generally as a concept. I just have to move all my batter back and repipe it into the oil now. But it's looking good! It's not looking bad. I just transferred some batter over, and let's give this another shot. Yeah, that's about the size. Can you stop? I'm gonna get scissors. Oh, Kenzie's behind the camera, by the way. She's been very helpful. I should get scissors though, right? So, the shoe nut that I piped broke apart. Now the issue is I don't know, because if I do what I did first, it doesn't come off the parchment paper, but if I just pipe it in, it breaks apart. Jürgen, if by any chance you're watching this, I would love some tips because I think you're a genius and I need some help. It's a beautiful color though. I'm quite chuffed about the color. Flip please! Alright, here we go. Nah, that's broken. That's already, it's a U. It's fine. I'm gonna try this one more time. I just feel like if it worked for Jürgen, it should work for me. Maybe I need to like peel it. Get off, please! That didn't work. So this actually isn't bad. I think I'll just pipe them into the oil directly, actually. On to the next one. So anyway, we have my finished Chouxnuts that vaguely resemble Jürgen's. I'm gonna dip these in the Yuzu glaze and then sprinkle the streusel on. All three components are here now. We have the Chouxnuts, we have the glaze, we have the streusel. I'm gonna just take a small piece and try it first. We're just gonna dip, We're gonna dip this into the glaze and then sprinkle the streusel on. All right. Yay! Well, I'm just gonna try it. It tastes a little doughy, but maybe that's what it's supposed to taste like. I have no frame of reference. It's still hot, and it's hot in my mouth. It's very, like, comforting. The yuzu really, like, pierces through everything. I don't know that I would use yuzu again. The taste of the yuzu kind of contrasts the Chouxnut a little too much. Hey, now I can say I've tried making this, so I'm quite chuffed. Alright, well, I'm just going to dip the rest of these and decorate them, and then that'll be it for today, because I'm tired. We are all done today. These are my nice looking ones. I threw the not nice looking ones over there, out of frame. So overall, I think this recipe was not super hard. It just was kind of time consuming because I was making it for the first time and then there was like waiting for the oil to heat up a bunch of times. But I think that if I practice this enough, it'll be a really fun recipe to share with friends and family. So thank you, Jürgen, for just being amazing, and I'm rooting for you. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!